Coming up on Network Africa, several people, mostly high school students, have been killed after a tree fell on them at a popular waterfall spot in Ghana. Large numbers of refugees flee the ongoing fighting and famine in South Sudan. South Africa's Carnival opens in Cape Town with a magnificent display of fireworks. Hello and welcome to the program. I'm Temitope Fagbemi. We begin today with a look at what happened at stories that made headlines over the weekend.
The head of Rwanda's only registered opposition party, the tiny Green Party, will be standing against President Paul Kagame, who is expected to run for third term in the August presidential polls. Kagame is widely admired by many for restoring stability to the East African nation after its 1994 genocide, presiding over rapid economic growth and creating a relatively corruption-free government. But rights activists say those achievements have come at the expense of civil liberties. Some of Kagame's political opponents have been killed after they fled abroad, in cases that remain unsolved. Then in the Democratic Republic of Congo, there has been an increasingly brutal nature of fighting in central Congo between the army and local militia on vivid display in the village of Tshianke, where the bodies of rebel fighters last month were dumped into a mass grave following intense clashes. The United Nations suspects that Congolese forces killed 84 militia members close to the town of Tshimbulu between February the 9th to the 13th. The Congo government denies its soldiers used disproportionate force and say they've recovered automatic weapons from militia fighters after clashes. UN peacekeeping mission in Congo say it informed the government earlier this month of 3 alleged mass grave sites in Tshimbulu and in December of 7 more in the village of Nkonto, about 150 kilometers northwest. The government says the graves were dug by the militia.
At least 20 people, mostly high school students, have been killed and many others injured after a large tree fell on them at a popular waterfall spot in Kintampo, Ghana. The students were swimming during a storm when the accident happened. It appears the tree had been brought down by a storm. Ghana's National Fire Service spokesman, Prince Billy Anaglate, said the incident happened at the Kintampo waterfalls in the Barong Ahafo region. A combined team of police and fire service personnel were at the accident site in a bid to rescue those who were trapped by the tree. Here in Nigeria, widows of the victims of insurgency in Borno State in the northeast are getting involved in the counter-insurgency war. They are joining the female wing of the vigilante group known as the Civilian Joint Task Force. The state government says this involvement is having a positive impact on the war against insurgency.
Women across the state have shown enthusiasm towards the counterterrorism war. The use of female suicide bombers on soft targets has forced government to invest in female civilian JTF members to aid in checking women in public places. In an IDP camp in Dikwa local council, Gambo Bukar, a widow and mother of 4, screens female new arrivals before admitting them into the camp.
Ina kishin kasamu kuma sun cutar da mu sosai. Bara mu taba manta abin da suka yi mana ba. Shi yasa ni ma na siyar da raina, na yarda duk ma abin da zai samu har kasan mu yayi kyau. Ni na doka fansa, shi yasa na fito.
Back in the state capital, the Maiduguri Monday market area is arguably the most crowded place in the city every day of the week. The Sector 3 of the civilian JTF is responsible for the security of the Monday market. They are supported by the police and other civil authorities, playing supervisory roles. Habiba Abdullahi, another widow and mother of 3, has volunteered to take part in screening of women at the Monday market for 3 years running for a monthly stipend. According to her, she became a volunteer following the gruesome killing of her husband, the father of her 3 daughters.
Ina ga ya kai shekara 3 zuwa 4 muna aikin nan. Ba abin da ya taba samu mu sai dai a cikin wanda Allah ya daura masa mun rasa yaran mu wa'ansu. Kuma wannan kaddara ne daga Ubangiji.
Their male counterparts attest to the positive impact the women volunteers have made in detecting suspicious women.
Gaskiya sun rage mana aiki sosai kuma aiki muna jin daɗin aiki 100%.
The state government is already working out a post-insurgency plan for the teaming youths that have volunteered to serve as civilian JTF.
Those of them that were unfortunate to pass the WAEC and NECO exams, we were directed by the governor to collect their data, register them to sit for private GC and NECO with a view to assisting them to further their education. As regards those of them that do not go to schools, we want to empower them through our skill acquisition centers in the Ministry of Poverty Alleviation so that they become self-reliant of themselves.
Habiba has married off her first daughter, and she says all is now set to marry off her 16-year-old second daughter. Zainab, the baby of the house, is barely 10 and attends both the Western school, which the killers of her father kicked against as forbidding, and the Islamic school in the evenings. Her mother hopes she finds a good husband in the coming years to start her own home.
In North Africa, the ongoing fighting and famine in South Sudan has forced large numbers of refugees to flee to neighboring Sudan over the past few months. According to the UN High Commissioner for Refugees, the UNHCR, more than 1,000 South Sudanese people, many of them women and children, are reaching the Sudanese border every day.
Reception centers have been set up on the border where the UN Refugee Agency and Sudanese authorities are providing humanitarian aid to the displaced. At a makeshift camp, a South Sudanese woman named Fronica Peter recalled the harrowing experience in her war-torn country.
I have lost my entire family to the war. I used to have 7 family members, 5 siblings and 2 sons. So I left my Upper Nile State House and walked for days to get here. I will never go back. What I have been through is dreadful.
Ahmed Mohamed Adam, an aid commissioner at the High Committee for Humanitarian Aid of Sudan, said the famine produced by the combination of armed conflict and drought in South Sudan is driving the growing refugee crisis.
Adding to the previous number of refugees who have arrived since the outbreak of South Sudan's